Guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk a little bit about the old Bullnose Ford here today. We've done a couple videos on it, not real popular videos. We really weren't intending on this to be a YouTube truck video series or anything like that. It's just we had an old truck that we're working on and we're going to make some videos. But this old truck is a cautionary tale for all the people who enjoy the Will It Run videos, because this is essentially what we got was a Will It Run. We got it cranked up, we got it up on a trailer, we got it home, and it'd run enough, you know, if we had to drive it, but not really. So the $400 Will It Run truck winds up being a couple $1,000s once you get into it. So on this video, I'll show you kind of us taking the head off, looking at the head gasket, and this truck had to be 2 quarts of stop leak in it, at least, probably more than that. And we still don't even know if we got it fixed. It is running again, and you'll see that. So what you're going to see is us pulling the head, putting the head back on, and then getting it fired back up for the first time. So real quick, I'll go through a list of what all we've done. Now the things we've done are things that you're going to have to do on all these Will It Run type videos that you see people doing. Of course, we had to get new tires for it, so we got tires, we painted the wheels, stripped those down. Mirrors were trash, we got new mirrors. And this is just externally, this is just cosmetically what we've done. Sanded down the bumper, painted it, put a hitch on it because it will be towing stuff kind of sometime. You can't see them, but we put new shocks because the shocks were bloated out all the way around, so we put new shocks all the way around. I've done nothing with the interior. Polished up some of the trim, polished up the bumper, cleaned up some of the grill, cleaned up some in here and painted some things. So here's what happens with a Will It Run. Well, here's what you wind up doing. You finally get it running, it doesn't run right, you have to get a new carb for it. So we got a new carburetor for it. If you get a new carburetor, you're going to have to get new fuel filters. If you get new fuel filters, more than likely the fuel pump's bad. Of course, we talked about the head and all that, but we also had to clean all of this, and that took a long time. Of course, you're going to break something, so we broke a bolt in the exhaust manifold, so you have to buy a new exhaust manifold now. Of course, the brakes didn't really work. New master cylinder, new vacuum booster. It wasn't getting any vacuum. It was a huge vacuum leak at that. The radiators for these trucks are unobtainium, and if you do find one, it's $500. So aftermarket radiator, had to create some mounts, some isolators, things like that. Of course, if we're going to do that, we might as well eliminate the fan. So we eliminated the fan. The electric fan's not hooked up yet, which means you take the fan off the water pump. Of course, if you're going to take it off the water pump and it has that much stop leak in it, you'll have to put a new water pump on it. Of course, once you get it running and you actually get a new battery in it, more than likely that old alternator is going to go bad. So new alternator. Of course, it's hard to find an alternator for this truck, so a regular old AC Delco 3-wire will work. So you do that. But hey, if you do that, you got to clip the plugs off and rewire it. If you're going to do that, you're going to ruin that voltage regulator at some point, so you might as well put a new one of those on it. Smog, don't need that where we're going, which means all the vacuum has to be redone, and we have not got finished with all that, obviously. Of course, if you're going to do all that, you don't want to mess around with the crappy old distributor, so HEI it is, because of course the coil's going to be bad, or at least going to go bad, and the Duraspark is trash. So now we got HEI. Of course, you got to change the oil. And this is before we address anything with the transmission, the drive line, which all seems to be good, thank goodness, or the interior, which we have some pieces for as well. Of course, you have about $200 worth of just regular old hardware you got to buy too. You're not going to leave the old halogen lights in there, so new lights. Of course, you got to paint. Got to paint all this up and get it nice and pretty. So all that, and it's still not running and driving. We haven't addressed the exhaust system. Yeah, there's still a lot to do to this truck, a lot. But here's where we are, and if you watch the rest of the video, you'll see us, like I said, monkey with the head, and get it pulled up, and then actually crank it. It does run. And you'll see kind of what we had to do when it comes to HEI versus carburetor, timing, all that. And the timing on these are challenging. So guys, we'll soon be experts on a old Bullnose Ford. If you have any questions, hit me up. So guys, we have decided to go ahead and pull the head. We've ran the engine. I'm not sure where at in the video series we are, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. We've ran it. It steams. We redid the compression. Number 1 cylinder is about 30 pounds low. It's like 110, And the first time we did it was at 130, so it's actually lost compression after we ran it. The 6-cylinder that was at 110 went up to 140. So who knows what's going on? It could be a cracked head, could be a bad gasket, could be bad rings. There's lots of things that can happen. The only thing we can do is pull the head and start working on it. The truck will run, it'll drive, but there is steam coming out from places where steam shouldn't be coming out of. There's water, a lot of water coming out of the tailpipe, and it doesn't run great. I mean, it runs good. It runs really good, actually. It didn't overheat or anything, and it didn't even have water in it. But it wouldn't be reliable the way it is. So the manifold, the intake and the exhaust manifold are held on with basically the same bolts, and they tend to break, so you gotta be careful with them. And then once we get those off, we can pull the actual head. To the back, to the front. Oh, man, well, do you have an exhaust leak? Because that wasn't even tight.
Well, you know, it was blowing all over the place. I'm not sure how
I mean, there's like...
Yeah, these are pretty loose too.
I'm sure there's not supposed to be maybe 30 pounds on them,
Yeah,
but that was like 5. Well, you know, that's why you should have had kids to hold the light for you. Got the intake and the exhaust manifolds off. They came off as one unit. Probably didn't have to, but that's what we did. All the bolts came out really easy, probably because of the massive oil leak. I guess it might be this bolt right here. I don't know what holds them things together. I'm not a Ford guy. That's loose, that's good, because we're deleting this. Progress. Don't worry about me, just get the front.
Oh, I forgot.
The fucking push rods.
Yeah. God.
We forgot to take the push rods out. Oh, we forgot to take the pusher. We got in such a hurry. I got in such a hurry.
I forgot.
That we forgot to take the push rods out.
Did we see anything obvious?
Man, those cylinders look good, in my opinion. I mean, I see one thing. All the coolant passages are clogged.
No, I mean, like, but would that cause it to try to find another place to go?
I don't know what that would cause. It would cause the fact that someone put 17 pounds of stop leak in it.
Oh, there's that.
Oh, let's get these push rods out. We need to figure out where they went. Yeah, that's the side. That's supposed to be a passage. Now it's just solid over there.
Yeah, it's like every other one.
Same over here. This is what you were.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty with the chemtrails. I'm sorry, vapor trails. All right, guys. So we are. We skipped a lot because we got preoccupied, and we just didn't film anything. So we found nothing on the head gasket that indicated that the head gasket was bad. We put a straight edge on the head, and we didn't really see that it was badly warped. It may have been a little bit of warp because when we took the head up, it did kind of go boom up to one side when we took it loose, which is kind of an indicator that might be a little warped. The water jackets were completely clogged with stop leak, and we flushed the head for another probably 20 minutes with just junk coming out. We're just going to go ahead, and Russell's has decided to get a new head altogether. But we're going to go ahead and put it back together for now until we get that piece. Hey, David, come here and be on camera. You want to be on camera?
Yeah. I don't want to be on.
What is this? You know what this is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Stool.
Well, yeah, that is a stool. You're not wrong. No, what's this? It's a head.
The head.
That's right.
Oh, I have to go pee-pee in the grass.
You're gonna go pee-pee in the grass? Okay, I don't think YouTube will let me do that. Holy moly, kid. So Russell's gonna get a new head, and we are going to go ahead and put this one back on so we can at least move everything around. Hey, hey, hey. So we're gonna end tonight. We're gonna go ahead and get the head gasket down, get the head back on. We've got new head bolts. We've got new everything. We're gonna get it put back together until we actually get the whole new head. We think so much junk and crap came out. We think we might be okay even without a new head. We're gonna give it a shot. All right, putting the push rods back in. Guys, we don't know what we're doing. So this is less of a how-to and more of a just, hey, look what we're doing. Head's torqued down to spec. We didn't show that because, again, we don't really know what we're doing. We don't want people to do what we're doing. We just do. We'll get them all back in. We'll pick back up. All right, we're back at it. It's months later. I don't know when the last time I made a video. This video obviously was over several days and weeks and months. It's time to get back to it. So here's all we've done. If you haven't been following along, we've eliminated all the smog and all the vacuum, and that's probably the wrong thing to do, but we did it. HEI on it. We've got everything hooked back together after we put the new head gasket on it and the new exhaust manifold. Front hadn't hooked up. We haven't hooked the radiator up. We haven't hooked the alternator up, but we did block off the smog. We're going to see if it can run. It doesn't have the exhaust hooked up because the exhaust flange on the new exhaust manifold doesn't work with the other exhaust system. And I will say we did do a slight test fire and it did come to life. It didn't necessarily run. It sat there and loped a little bit and then died pretty quickly. Actually, we just put a little bit of gas in the carb. We've got everything hooked up. We got the fuel system primed, and hooked the vacuum advance back up on the HEI after setting it to 10 degrees before top dead center. Now we want to hook the vacuum advance up, see if it runs any smoother, and see if we need to advance the timing at all. Now, I don't know if we need to do that by resetting down here or if we need to actually just advance it by turning the HEI. We're going to turn the HEI a little bit and see if that works. If not, then we can always reset it down here and go to 6 degrees before top dead center, whatever. It definitely needs to be advanced some. All right, we have not put any more gas in the carb. We don't know if it'll just crank right back up. We're going to give it a shot. Hopefully it will. Contact. It's like it's not getting fuel or something. Yeah. Stop. Is it in neutral?
Nope.
Aha. Yeah, well, ooh, that's probably a good thing. Oh my gosh, that's what your transmission fluid looks like, Russell.
Yeah, I knew we were going to flush it.
Hook a hose between one and the other.
That's right.
Guys, that's what bad transmission fluid looks like. It's red, don't get me wrong, but look at all the sparkles.
Yep, we'll have to.
All right, we're dummies and we didn't connect the what do you call those things? Transmission lines. We didn't hook the transmission lines together because we don't have the radiator in it, so now we're doing that. All right, take two. Now that we have the put your hands over here, son.
I feel like I'm having to give it gas to keep it running.
Yeah, oh, time. We definitely need to set the time, and the choke hasn't all the way open yet either. far as I can tell.
All right, well, here we're gonna try to.
I say we tighten her down right there.
I mean, it fired up and went.
Well, now we need to, I'm not going to tighten it all the way. Now we got to hook the vacuum advance up. See if it does it again. Alright. Now see if she fires right back up again.
Man, I mean it.
Like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we
I'm
won't
saying
know.
it's perfect, but
We won't know until we really get
it fires
some
right up
exhaust hooked up.
and goes. Get the transmission or
Yep.
the cooler. Yeah, we got to get water in it,
Yep, we gotta get running at temp.
and then
See if it has any head gasket issues. So guys, thanks for watching. Tune back in. We're gonna get this thing on the road and actually drive it, but it could be another 6 months. I don't know. We've had this thing for a year now. I just want everyone to kind of get a good glimpse at what when you get a cheap $200, $300, $400 vehicle and you see people doing will it runs. Yeah, it'll run, but not for long. Not without dumping some money into it when it's been sitting in a field forever. They are fun videos to watch. I love watching them, but don't just rush into something because you see someone on YouTube do it in 20 minutes. Guys, if you like the video, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Have a great day.